Right. Welcome to the explainer. Look, we all get told what to do with our money, right? But today, we're going to dig into something that's way more important. We're talking about the hidden why, the reason behind every single financial choice you make. So let's jump right in. So it always starts with this, doesn't it? Work hard. This is like the number one piece of advice we ever get. It's supposed to be the engine, right? The first gear. You're told, just put your head down, push hard enough, and everything else will just fall into place. And then, of course, there's rule number 2, save something. Put a little bit away for a rainy day. It sounds so simple, so sensible, so practical. It's just what you're supposed to do. And rounding out the big 3, avoid debt. Don't owe anybody anything, ever. And, on the surface, these 3 rules, work hard, save something, avoid debt, they sound like the perfect roadmap to financial success, don't they? But here's the big problem, the question that changes everything. Why? Because all that advice, as good as it sounds, it's totally incomplete. It's like having a set of rules, but no reason to follow them. It's a strategy with no soul, and it completely fails to connect what we do with our money every day to, what we actually want out of life. And that's what leaves so many of us right here, in this weird spot where we've got the paychecks coming in, but we don't have any real perspective. We've got the ambition, we've got the income, but if you really think about it, we have no clear picture of what we're actually building. So does any of this sound familiar to you? That little pit in your stomach, that anxiety about money, even when you're getting a good paycheck? Or that feeling like you're just on a hamster wheel. You're running and running, but you're not actually getting any closer to real freedom. Well, you are definitely not alone. This is the starting point for almost everyone. Okay, so let's try something. Let's make a really fundamental shift in how we think about this. What if we stop seeing money as the goal and start seeing it for what it really is? Just a tool, a resource that you, get to control. And this quote from Ayn Rand just nails it. She said, "Money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver." I mean, how perfect is that? It just perfectly captures this idea that you are in the driver's seat. Money, that's just the car. It's meant to take you wherever you decide you want to go. So, okay, what is this tool really? Let's break it down. Think of it like this. Every dollar you have is just a claim on something you might want or need later. It's not just paper or numbers on a screen. It's stored potential. It's the potential to build a house or take that trip or even just the potential to rest. It's basically a placeholder for all your future possibilities. And this really leads to 2 totally different ways of looking at money. On one side, you've got money as a tool. It's the hammer you use to build the life you actually want, a life that lines up with your values. But then, on the other side, you've got money as a scorecard, a trophy, where life becomes this endless game of just chasing more, where you measure your self-worth by the number in your bank account. And let me tell you, that is a game you can never, ever win. Here's another way to think about it, and this one's really powerful. Think of money as stored life energy. Seriously, every single dollar you have ever earned cost you something real. It cost you a piece of your life, your time, your focus, your effort. So when you spend that money intentionally, what you're really doing is directing that precious life energy toward the things that actually matter to you. Which, brings us to a really important question. If money is your tool and your time is your energy, then what are you building with it? Seriously, what is the big project of your life that this tool is supposed to help you create? All right, so if we're actually going to answer that question, we have to do something first. We need to understand the blueprint we're already using. And a lot of the time, this blueprint is totally invisible to us. We have to uncover our unwritten money story. The famous psychoanalyst Carl Jung put it perfectly. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that's really the key to all of this. We walk around thinking we're making these smart, rational choices with our money, but a lot of the time we're just acting out a story that we didn't even know we were a part of. So what exactly is a money story? Well, it's pretty much the entire collection of all your beliefs, your habits, and your emotions that you've built up around money your whole life. It's like this invisible script that's always running in the background, telling you what you think you deserve, what feels safe to spend, and how to react when money comes in or goes out. And the thing is, we don't just invent these stories out of thin air. We inherit them. They come from our family. You know all those little phrases you heard growing up, like money doesn't grow on trees? They come from our culture, our neighborhood, and our earliest experiences as kids. And they've been quietly shaping how we act with money ever since. Now, these experiences don't just create some vague feeling about money. Nope. They write very specific, recurring patterns of thought in our brains. And these patterns are what we call money scripts. Let's run through 5 of the most common ones. As I go through these, just see if any of them kind of hit home for you. First, you've got the scarcity script. This is that deep down belief that there will never be enough. Then there's the status script. My worth is tied to what I own. Next is the avoidance script, that feeling that money is just too complicated and overwhelming to even deal with. Then the security script, which is the hope that if you just get a little more money, you'll finally feel safe. And last, the generosity script. This is the feeling that you have to take care of everybody else, even if it's at your own expense. So just take a second and look at that list again. Do any of those sound familiar? Most of us have one that's our main script, and then maybe we have bits and pieces of the others. And hey, the goal here isn't to judge yourself, it's just to see them clearly for what they are. Because here's the magic. The moment you can see your script, you get the power to change it. And that's what brings us to our final part here, how to turn all this awareness into real intentional action. And this, right here, is the most empowering part of this whole thing. Just by seeing your own money story, you've already taken the single biggest step. Because awareness creates choice. You're not on autopilot anymore. You're no longer just stuck calling your old programming fate. Now you can actually start to choose a new story, one that really serves you. For example, if you inherited that scarcity script, you can consciously practice the idea of enoughness. If you learn to avoid money, you can start to learn how to engage with it, just one tiny step at a time. And if you've always tied your self-worth to money, you can start to pull those two things apart and separate money from your core identity. And just remember, this is a process. It's a journey. It's not about suddenly becoming the perfect financial guru overnight. Not at all. The real goal here is just clarity and intention. It's about having a better understanding of why you do what you do and making choices with a little more intention, starting today. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Your old story, yeah, that might have been written for you, but the pen is in your hand now. So if you could write a brand new money story for your future, starting right now, one that's truly, genuinely aligned with the life you want to build, what would that very first sentence be?